What if everything you've ever felt out of place about wasn't a flaw, but a secret map to your soul's forgotten history? Most people stumble through life believing they're a blank slate, one shot, one story. But what if you've actually been here before, countless times, carrying invisible wisdom and scars no one else can see? Here's the truth. The signs are everywhere, but only a handful are brave enough to notice them. Tired of feeling like no one gets you? Maybe it's because you're not just living one life, you're juggling memories and lessons from lifetimes past. Let's flip the script on what you thought you knew about yourself. You don't have to meditate in a cave or travel to India to unlock your hidden soul history. In this video, you'll discover 8 powerful signs that reveal your true soul age. Some will hit so close to home, it might just change how you see your life, your relationships, and every déjà vu you've ever had. Ready to see beyond the obvious? The answers you're looking for have been hiding in plain sight, just waiting for you to ask the right questions. There are those who drift through life always sensing they don't quite belong, as if their soul speaks a language the world has forgotten. For these rare individuals, crowded rooms can feel lonelier than solitude itself, and the ordinary customs of family or society seem like clothes that never fit quite right. It's almost as if they're viewing life through a window, participating, yet never truly blending in. This sense of not fitting in, of being a quiet observer in a noisy world, can show up early on, perhaps even as a child who just couldn't understand why others were so caught up in surface-level games. But here's the thing, this outsider feeling isn't a curse. It's the echo of ancient memories, nudging you to dig deeper than the shallow end of life's pool. Often, those who feel different carry an unspoken longing for something more meaningful than fitting in. Instead of chasing trends or applause, they yearn for real connection and purpose, finding beauty in the simple, the subtle, and the profound. Imagine someone who, while friends rush toward the latest fad, quietly enjoys old books, starry skies, or deep conversations about why we're here in the first place. If this resonates, you're not lost. You're simply tuned to a frequency most can't hear. Sometimes that quiet frequency is just the beginning, a gentle call toward understanding others on a level most never reach, opening the door to a sensitivity that can't be ignored. There's a kind of person who walks into a room and feels the storm or the sunshine long before words are spoken. They soak up the moods and struggles of others like a sponge, sometimes to the point of exhaustion. It's as if they've been equipped with an emotional radar, catching signals that bounce right off the rest of the crowd. Maybe they're the one friends turn to when life gets heavy, not because they hand out advice like candy, but because their very presence feels like a gentle balm. This deep empathy, though, is not always easy to carry. It can mean feeling the world's aches and joys as if they're your own. Empathy, when seen through the eyes of an old soul, becomes more than a trait. It's a calling. People who feel this way often end up as listeners, healers, or peacemakers, sometimes wondering why complete strangers spill their hearts with ease. If you find yourself drained after busy days or emotionally full after helping others, you might be touching on echoes from lives where compassion was both your gift and your trial. And once you recognize that empathy isn't just sensitivity, but wisdom in disguise, you start to notice a deeper pull, a curiosity for ancient truths and traditions you never actually learned, yet somehow remember. It's funny how some folks feel right at home in places or practices most people barely notice. Maybe meditation or old spiritual texts feel oddly familiar, like picking up a conversation you paused lifetimes ago. The urge to seek out the roots of existence, to unravel the mysteries behind why we're here, pulls stronger than the daily grind ever could. Some are drawn to traditions they were never taught, yet every chant, symbol, or silent moment seems to unlock a door in the heart. This isn't about running from the present, but about recognizing a thread that weaves through many chapters of existence. When someone gravitates toward old rituals or spiritual paths, it's rarely an accident. Have you ever sat quietly, lit a candle, or wandered through a forest and felt a peace you couldn't explain? Maybe you pick up a book on ancient philosophies and realize you're not just learning, you're remembering. This deep-rooted curiosity, this urge to go beyond the surface, is often the soul's way of saying, "You've walked here before." And as these ancient echoes grow louder, it's not uncommon for memories, talents, or even fears with no clear origin to rise to the surface, demanding attention in ways that defy logic. Every now and then, someone discovers a gift or a quirk that seems to come out of nowhere. A sudden knack for painting, music, or even an unusual fear of the ocean when they've never seen it. Some are haunted by dreams so vivid they linger into waking hours, or they step into a new city and feel instantly at home, as if they've already walked those streets in worn-out shoes. It's almost as if pieces of other stories are stitched into their own, bringing both talents and troubles that no one around them shares. These aren't coincidences. They're threads from other tapestries, woven in with care and sometimes with pain. Take, for example, the person who's terrified of heights despite never falling, or the child who picks up an instrument and plays as if guided by invisible hands. Perhaps you know someone who avoids water, not from experience, but from a deep, inexplicable dread. Old souls often carry these fragments, wounds and wonders alike, from journeys their mind can't recall, but their heart cannot forget. And often, these mysterious gifts or burdens show up most clearly in relationships where familiar faces feel brand new yet oddly ancient, and the lessons come back around in unexpected ways. You ever meet someone and instantly feel as if you've known them forever, or perhaps the opposite, a rush of emotion with no clear reason? These are the soul's breadcrumbs, subtle signs that our connections stretch far beyond one lifetime. Friends, lovers, and even rivals can feel like recurring characters in the ongoing drama of our existence, each meeting a chance to heal old wounds or revisit lessons unfinished. Sometimes, the people who challenge us most are actually our greatest teachers, partners in a dance that began ages ago. It's uncanny how certain patterns repeat, with new faces but the same old scripts. Old souls often find themselves in relationships that feel fated, quick connections, deep bonds, or even inexplicable clashes that don't make sense on paper. Maybe it's the sibling you butt heads with, yet would do anything for, or a friend who seems to read your mind. These soul contracts are invitations to grow, to finally break cycles that may have held you back for lifetimes. And just when you think you've got it all figured out, a strange sense of déjà vu or a gut feeling will nudge you, reminding you that there's more to these meetings than chance. Which brings us right to that sixth sense so many old souls seem to share. Some folks navigate life with a compass no one else can see, relying on gut feelings that more often than not prove eerily accurate. This intuition isn't just luck. It's accumulated wisdom whispering from the shadows, a knowing that can't be learned from books. Whether it's an instant warning before trouble, a flash of recognition in a stranger's eyes, or a dream that later plays out in real life, these moments point to something deeper at play. It's as if the soul leaves breadcrumbs, guiding decisions in ways logic can't always explain. Déjà vu becomes a reminder. You've danced this step before. For those who trust these inner nudges, life unfolds with a bit more magic and a lot more clarity. Maybe you've walked into a new place and felt an overwhelming sense you've been there, or you make choices that just feel right, even when no one else understands. This intuitive clarity isn't about being mystical for the sake of it. It's about listening to the inner teacher who's been gathering lessons for lifetimes. And for many, this deep trust in self leads to a quieter way of living, where solitude and reflection aren't lonely, but nourishing. You'll often find old souls lingering at the edges of noisy gatherings, content to listen, reflect, or simply enjoy their own company. Solitude isn't a sentence, it's a sanctuary, a space where ideas and memories bubble up like spring water. There's comfort in quiet, sipping tea by a window, walking alone under the moon, or spending hours lost in thought. For these people, success isn't measured by trophies, but by the peace found within. The world might chase after more, louder, faster, but old souls find value in the pauses, the deep breaths, and the moments no one else sees. It's not that they're antisocial, they just know the richness of time spent with themselves. Reflection becomes their fuel, inner growth, their true achievement. If you recognize yourself here, you know that listening to your own thoughts often brings more satisfaction than chasing external approval. And sometimes in these quiet spaces, old memories start to surface, snippets of other times, other places, stories that unfold in dreams or through the gentle guidance of therapists and guides, which leads to one of the most fascinating signs of all, spontaneous glimpses into lives you never knew you lived. Every so often, a child describes a place they've never visited or recounts events with details too precise to be coincidence. Before the world teaches them to forget, some kids speak with the authority of someone who's been around the block more than once. Adults, too, might discover old memories surfacing during meditation, therapy, or even while traveling through a country that suddenly feels like home. Sometimes these glimpses arrive as dreams or sudden emotions that have no present cause, yet feel deeply personal. Past life recall, whether spontaneous or guided, can be startling, but it's also a gift, an invitation to heal, forgive, and grow. If you've ever found yourself crying at a song from another culture or feeling an unexplainable longing for an era you've only read about, you may be closer to your own soul's history than you realize. These memories are not here to haunt, but to help, serving as signposts that your journey is far longer and more intricate than a single lifetime can contain. And as you follow these clues, you begin to sense there's more to the story, more to uncover about the age and wisdom carried within. The next step, then, is not just recognizing these signs, but wondering just how many times have you walked this earth. So, after seeing these signs, what does your gut tell you? Are you living your first lap on this planet? Or have you been collecting stories for centuries? If even a few of these signals stirred something inside, maybe it's time to stop doubting and start exploring. Imagine the power in finally understanding your deepest instincts, your sudden fears, your wild talents. What would your life look like if you trusted the ancient wisdom you carry instead of brushing it off? What relationships could you heal? What gifts could you awaken if you stopped thinking you're just weird and realized you're simply wise beyond your years? Here's a question worth asking. What will you do with this knowledge now? Will you let old patterns repeat, or are you ready to break cycles and write a new chapter with eyes wide open to your soul's true story? Share your thoughts below. Have you experienced these signs? What's your strongest hint you've lived before? Dive into the comments. Your story could light the way for someone else. And hey, if you're hungry for more answers, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. There's so much more to discover, and your next breakthrough might be just one video away.